John lay on his bed. A week passed since his severe stroke, leaving him paralyzed and mute. On June 6th, 1891, John A. MacDonald died at the age of 76, to be remembered a prime minister, lawyer, a father and husband, a friend, and as a leader. But here were some parts of his life that weren't remembered so well. So we will take some time to share with you the life of John A. MacDonald.
I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart.
The air was cold on January 11th, 1815, in the small town of Glasgow, Scotland, where two parents lay patiently waiting for a child. The mother, in labor, in great pain, for she was about to give birth. She had no idea the child she was going to be giving birth to would become such a great leader. And on that day, John A. MacDonald was born to his parents Hugh and Mary MacDonald. During the years, Hugh MacDonald decided he was going to move to Canada with his family. They moved to Kingston, which is in modern-day southeast Ontario. They moved there to start a new business. Although his ideas were good, his business never really took off. And tragedy always seemed to be right around the corner for John. One day when he was 5, one of the family's servants unintentionally hit his brother James on the head, killing him on the spot.
He's dead! As John A. MacDonald was growing up, his parents really pressured him into becoming a successful lawyer, making enough money to live well and support his family. Parents, for his father's business, never did well.
For me, it seems like I didn't really get to have much of a childhood. I've seen other children playing around the playground, and, that just didn't seem to be where I fit in. I liked studying my books. I liked, being the smart kid in the class, because I knew that that's what my parents wanted for me. And of my brothers and sisters, I was really the only one who showed an interest in his studies. So I guess the reason I kind of became a lawyer was because of my parents and because of my brothers and sisters. I was the only one who, cared. In 1834, at the age of 18, John A. MacDonald was quickly rising. He became good friends with George Mackenzie, a famous lawyer back then. He ended up managing one of George's offices over a summer while George was on vacation. He did a very good job, and it was noticeable he was quickly digging his feet into a successful career.
I'd like you to work for me over the summer.
The whole summer? That must be quite a bit of pay. I appreciate it, but I don't know. That might be a bit of work for me.
I want you to manage my office while I go on vacation.
I think I can do that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the trust you're putting in me. John A. MacDonald was quickly becoming a successful student. He was learning the tricks of the trade and everything there was to doing the best he could. And even though he wasn't old enough yet, at the age of 20, he began his first practice. And the next year, in 1836, he moved to York, present-day Toronto, to successfully become an official lawyer. In 1841, Hugh MacDonald, John's father, became very sick. He ended up passing away that year from his illness. John was going through a hard time, so he took a boat ride out to Britain. Here, he hoped his vacation would ease his pain. While in Britain, John MacDonald met his cousin, Isabella Clark, who he grew a better relationship with later on. Before he departed towards home, John gambled some of his money in the game of loo. and even though it was risky, he won a substantial amount.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
I win. Bam!
And when you're out there without care,
I quit.
but it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
Hey guys, do you want some drink?
Isabella, also known as Izza, as John referred to her, didn't forget him. She traveled to Kingston and stayed there for a year before the two of them got married.
Enough here. Husband and wife. You make kids.
In the year he married, John also announced his first candidacy for position of alderman in Kingston's 4th Ward. The votes were tallied and John A. MacDonald was announced victorious, with a staggering 156 votes to 43 over the Colonel Jackson. Three years after his father fell ill, his wife did too. Her illness came on and off over the next 12 years. It seemed things were turning around for John in his personal life, though, when in 1847 their first son was born. His name was John Alexander MacDonald Jr. While his wife remained ill, he kept moving on with his own life. In the March of 1848, it seemed like tragedy was just around the corner again for John, when his only son died. Shortly after, though, his second son would be born, to Isabella. His name was Hugh John MacDonald, named after his father and himself. John A. MacDonald also struggled with his alcoholism through his political career. Some of his debates were rather, well, see for yourself.
Yes! No! Yes! No! Yes! No! No! What is wrong with you? I smell liquor on your breath.
Well, it goes to show I'd rather have a drunk conservative than a sober liberal. You're drunk. At the age of 52, John A. MacDonald was preparing to marry his second wife, after his first one had died. Her name was Sue Agnes Bernard, and they had one child, a daughter named Margaret Mary. She ended up being diagnosed with a mental disability that left her mentally disabled. For John A. MacDonald's role in bringing Canada to a confederation, Queen Victoria knighted him at the age of 55.
I knight you, Sir John A. MacDonald. Rise.
That same year, John A. MacDonald was elected to be Canada's first Prime Minister. During his career, he suggested such things as the CPR, and just about all of Canada loved it. The CPR, also known as the Canadian Pacific Rail, was going to be very expensive, and so John A. MacDonald did what he shouldn't have done. He was accepting bribes from contractors.
Hey Johnny, guess what? Guess what I found out today?
What did you find out today?
You're Prime Minister again.
I'm pregnant again?
You're Prime Minister again.
I'm Prime Minister again?
Yeah, they voted for you again.
Again?
You got in.
I'm Prime Minister! You heard right. John A. MacDonald was about to serve his second term as Prime Minister. From 1878 to 1891, John A. MacDonald served as Prime Minister of Canada until he died. It was a tragic death. He died on a bed from a stroke that he had suffered from 8 days earlier. And although he lived a great life, spending some of his time talking on the phone with his mother, Just kidding. And some of his time leading to political debates, he led a good one that I hope we can all remember. One that inspired hope, happiness, perseverance, trust, loyalty, and the remembrance of a friend.
From the rooftops I remember there was snow, white snow.
He's dead!